What will happen when a stray dog enters a veterinary clinic? Everyone is surprised, as pets usually come with their owners. But when a nurse approaches the dog, she discovers something incredible that changes everything. Once upon a time in a coastal state in Brazil called Ceará, there was a dog facing a rough life. Abandoned as a puppy, he had never felt the warmth of a family or a kind touch. He learned to survive on his own, moving through the streets, often staying far from people. One day, as he rested on a footpath, a car suddenly rushed past and ran over his foot. The pain was sharp, and he cried out, but nobody came to help. He tried to walk it off, hoping it would heal with time. Days turned into weeks, but the pain in his paw only got worse. He limped around the streets, suffering in silence, unnoticed by the people around him. Then, one day, the dog saw a large building in the town center, a veterinary clinic. He had always avoided it before, but something about it felt safe. Gathering his courage, he approached the building and lay down by its wall, hoping someone might notice his pain. Exhausted, he closed his eyes, finding a small comfort in the chance for help. That night and the next day, the clinic's security cameras recorded the dog's every move. The cameras were there to catch any strange activity, but instead, they picked up something unexpected. One of the vets, a kind woman named Ileana, noticed the dog lying outside. She felt worried and wondered why he stayed so close to the clinic. As Ileana tried to approach him, the dog quickly ran off, still afraid of people because of his difficult past. The next morning, when Ileana arrived at the clinic, she found the dog sitting outside again. This time, instead of approaching him, she went straight to the security room to watch the CCTV footage. She could see the dog struggling to stand up, and through the blurry video, she noticed that one of his legs wasn't working properly. Ileana guessed there was more wrong than just a hurt paw, but to be sure, she needed to get closer and examine him. To her surprise, the dog slowly gathered enough strength to walk toward the clinic's open doors. It was as if he saw this as a chance for help. After so much rejection, he seemed to sense that maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. As the dog stepped inside, everyone turned to look. Even people passing by the clinic were curious about this brave animal. For a moment, he hesitated, thinking about turning back to the familiar streets. But he gathered his courage and took a few shaky steps toward Ileana and the nurses. Ileana sat calmly at the reception desk, watching him patiently. Nearby, a woman held her small dog close, though her pet paid no attention to the struggling newcomer. The dog tried to reach the reception desk, but the pain in his paw became too much. His legs gave way, and he collapsed against the wall, too tired to go on. Ileana's heart ached for him. She couldn't stand by any longer. She quickly got up, rushed to his side, and knelt down to meet his eyes. Gently, she reached out, touching his matted fur, giving him the comfort he had longed for. With gentle hands, she began examining his injuries. Ileana turned to a nearby nurse and gave her instructions on how to help the dog. The nurse nodded and quickly moved toward the treatment area. Ileana gently called the dog to follow, but he hesitated, looking uncertain. After a moment, he tried to take a few shaky steps, but Ileana stopped him. She had noticed an issue with his back leg and wanted to make sure he didn't hurt himself further. With years of experience helping both pets and strays, Ileana was determined to understand what was wrong. As they entered the examination room, she sanitized her hands and began carefully examining him. She felt a strong urge to protect this dog, whom she decided to name Blade. Though he looked weak and struggled to lift his head, Blade seemed to respond to his new name, showing he was beginning to trust Ileana's gentle touch. After a careful examination, Ileana found something much worse than a simple injury. Blade had a cancerous tumor. This news shocked her, but she stayed hopeful. Ileana quickly arranged for Blade to have his first chemotherapy session. To her delight, he responded well to the treatment. Ileana decided to take care of Blade at her home. They formed a comforting routine, sleeping close together at night and walking to the clinic each day. Ileana wanted to keep a close watch on Blade as he battled through his recovery. In a recent interview, Ileana shared her happiness about Blade's progress. The bleeding had stopped, and he no longer seemed to be in pain. She felt a wave of relief knowing that, despite everything Blade had been through, his story was starting to change for the better. Ileana made sure Blade received his treatments on time, offering him not just medical care but also emotional support as he faced this tough journey. As Blade's story spread online, it touched many hearts. People were moved by his bravery and strength. A crowdfunding campaign was launched to help cover his medical expenses, and thanks to the kindness of many strangers, Blade made a full recovery. He felt better than ever, and his journey brought joy to everyone who followed his story. Among Blade's supporters was a man living a few miles from the clinic. He learned about Blade's incredible journey and wanted to adopt him. He wasn't alone. Many others also reached out to Ileana, eager to give Blade a loving home. Ileana felt grateful for the love and support, but kept Blade's safety and happiness as her top priority. When the man contacted Ileana, he asked if someone could bring Blade to him. Ileana kindly said no, suggesting that he come to the clinic for an interview first. She wanted to make sure that Blade would be adopted by someone who truly understood his needs and could give him the love and care he deserved. Ileana knew that finding the right home was the best way to protect Blade's bright future. Ileana had become Blade's savior, and their bond was truly special. Blade had faced a lot of pain and rejection in his life, but with Ileana's love and care, he got a second chance. Their journey was not easy. It was filled with struggles, but also with hope, love, and a sense of family. Blade's courage inspired everyone around him, showing that even in the hardest times, a little hope can shine through. As Blade continued to recover, his story spread far and wide, becoming a beacon of hope for many. He taught people the importance of being kind and how one caring person can make a big difference in an animal's life. Ileana's commitment to helping Blade changed not only his life, but also touched the hearts of those who followed his journey. In the end, Blade's story reminds us that every animal deserves a loving home. With the support of caring people like Ileana and the community, many more stray animals can find the help they need and be given a chance to live happy, fulfilling lives. So, the next time you come across a stray animal, remember Blade's story. Your kindness could be the light that changes a life forever. Whether it's a small gesture or a big act of love, every bit counts. Just like Ileana and Blade, you can be a part of a beautiful journey toward hope and healing. That's all for today. Now, it's your turn to share your thoughts about this story. What's the next story you'd like to know? Let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any of these amazing videos on the Wild Wonder.